Hello students, welcome to EPG Parshala. I am Dr. Savita from Maharaja Agrasen University, Baddi. Today we are going to talk on module Fiscal Policy under the paper Managerial Economics. After completing this module, the students will be able to understand the concept of fiscal policy, instruments of fiscal policy, various objectives of fiscal policy, role of fiscal policy, and limitations of fiscal policy. Fiscal policy refers to the budgetary policy and it works through the government budget. Any type of fiscal policy move ultimately affects the government budget and hence its impact falls on the economy. The government of any country collects various types of taxes and also spends on different heads in a given year. The total revenue collected, that is both tax and non-tax by the government, and the total expenditure on different heads is shown in the government budget. In simple words, we can say that fiscal policy or budgetary policy is the policy which deals with the income and expenditure of the government. Fiscal policy relates to a variety of measures such as taxes, public borrowings, and public expenditure.
Second one is public expenditure. Public revenue is further divided into two parts, that is revenue receipts and capital receipts. Revenue receipts is of two types, that is tax and non-tax. Tax is further divided into two categories. One is direct tax and the second is indirect tax. Public expenditure is of two types. One is revenue expenditure and the second one is capital expenditure.
It is related to the public finance, involves the use of taxation, public borrowings, public expenditure by the government for securing economic stabilization and economic growth. Fiscal policy involves giving positive and negative incentives to the producers and consumers through the expenditure and revenue policies. According to Arthur Smith's, fiscal policy is a policy under which government uses its expenditure and revenue programs to produce desirable effects and avoid undesirable effects on the national income, production and employment. So, it can be concluded that a fiscal policy is that policy which avoid undesirable effects on the country as a whole. It deals with the proper use of revenue resources through public expenditure for attaining common national development and growth objectives.
Instruments of fiscal policy. Fiscal policy is based on a fundamental idea that it can influence the total level of aggregate spending, which further influence the income of the economy, corporate bodies and individuals. There are 5 major instruments of fiscal policy which is used to maintain stability and economic growth of an economy. They are as follow. Budget. The government budget or the revenue and expenditure process of the government, either balanced or unbalanced, can be used effectively to maintain stability and economic growth. Taxation. It is also a powerful instrument of fiscal policy by means of which the government can directly affect disposable income of the people and hence aggregate demand of the economy, the government can encourage or discourage economic growth and can combat inflationary and deflationary tendencies of the economy by applying suitable tax policies.
Public expenditure. Public expenditure is the expenditure incurred by the government to satisfy those common wants which the people in their individual capacity are unable to satisfy efficiently. It thus tends to satisfy collective social wants. The appropriate variation in public expenditure can have more direct effect upon the level of economic activity than even taxes. It will have a multiple effect upon income, employment, and output. Hence, by increasing or decreasing the public expenditure, the fluctuations in economic activities can be checked effectively. Public works. Keynes, in his book General Theory of Employment, Interest and Money, highlights public works program as the most significant anti-depression device. There are two main forms of expenditure, that is public works and transfer payments. Public works include expansion of roads, railways, hospitals, parks, irrigation, transport and communication, etc. Transfer payments include interest on public debt, subsidies, pensions, relief payment, social security benefits, etc. All these activities affect the level of income and employment in an economy.
Public debt. Public borrowing or public debt is nothing but loans taken by the government both from the internal and external sources. When current revenues fall short of public expenditures, the instrument of public borrowing are in the form of various types of government bonds and securities. Public debt is a very powerful instrument to fight against deflation. It also brings about economic stability and full employment in the economy. By means of public debt, the government can meet unprecedented expenses during war, natural calamities, and associated relief and rehabilitation works. In developing economies, it is the most important source of development finance. It is thus clear that by using different fiscal instruments, that is depending upon circumstances, the fundamental macroeconomic goals like price stability, full employment and economic growth can be achieved effectively.
There are various objectives of fiscal policy such as economic growth. For accelerating rate of economic growth of developing economies, fiscal policy can be used as an effective instrument. Economic growth simply means rise in real national income as well as per capita real income over the time. Less developed and poor countries suffer from the vicious circle of poverty, and to break this vicious circle, a large dose of investment, that is called big push, is necessary. Government can directly interfere on economic activities and design fiscal policy to raise the level of savings and to reduce potential consumption of the people. Different fiscal measures can induce the process of capital formation and create favorable environment for rapid economic growth. In addition to that, the government can redesign its tax policies to encourage both public and private investment in those economies. Mounting investment on social overhead capital, that is development of infrastructure, it means development of roads and communications, generation of electricity, etc., also creates a favorable environment for rapid economic growth. All these can be achieved by means of appropriate fiscal policy.
Economic stabilization. We know that in capitalistic countries, economic activities fluctuate over time, and these activities suffer from the problem of business cycles. To stabilize the economy, that is, to overcome recession, that is, business downswings, and control inflation, business upswings, and overexpansion in the economy, fiscal policy may be regarded as an important instrument. At the time of recession, the government increases its expenditures or cuts down taxes or adopts a suitable combination of both. On the other hand, to control inflation or business upswings, the government cut down its expenditure or raises taxes. This type of budgetary policy is known as contra-cyclical fiscal policy. Full employment. In an economy, those who are willing to work at the going wage rate but do not get job are called involuntarily unemployed. In a situation of full employment, all those who are willing to work get jobs and all are absorbed. If there is unemployment in an economy, the government may adopt various expansionary measures for increasing income and employment. There are various ways of achieving this goal. Once full employment level is reached, it has to be constantly maintained by adopting appropriate fiscal measures from time to time. Balance of payment equilibrium. When a country is engaged in international trade, then the country can get money by exporting goods and services, and the country spends money for importing goods and services from foreign countries. The difference between the value of exports and imports is known as balance of trade, and if it is added to the capital account, then it is called balance of payment. If the value of exports is less than the value of imports, then there will be a deficit in trade balance and surplus if opposite happens. In particular, if a country has a deficit in trade balance, then to correct such deficit, the government should encourage exports and discourage imports. For doing this, the government can grant different types of benefits and exemptions to exporters and impose a hardship on imports. In this way, by increasing exports and decreasing imports, the problem of deficit in trade balance can be corrected and equilibrium in balance of payment can be achieved. The government can also import funds in different forms to cover such deficit. Just its opposite mechanism will come into the picture in the opposite when there is a surplus in trade balance.
Social justice or equality in the distribution of income and wealth. The great motto of any welfare state is to provide greatest benefits for the greatest number of people. A welfare state can provide social justice by giving equitable distribution of income and wealth. Fiscal policy means should be designed in such a manner that the distribution of income and wealth will move in favor of the poor and against the rich. Thus, fiscal policy insists on the programs like free medical care, free education, old age pension schemes, widow pension schemes, and other social security measures to provide social justice to the society. Public expenditure, particularly grants and subsidies to poor, helps in redistributing income from the rich to the poorer section of the society. Suitable fiscal policy means can also reduce regional developmental imbalances in an economy. Mobilization of resources. Mobilization of resources is one of the most important objectives of fiscal policy. It is a great tool in the hands of developing countries like India. It is of almost important to increase the rate of the investment and capital formation so as to accelerate the rate of economic growth in the country. Fiscal measures like taxation and public expenditure program can help in mobilizing resources from unproductive to productive channels. So, objectives of fiscal policy are generally consistent, but sometimes there may be some discrepancies among them. These conflicts may be
the objective of attaining an accelerated rate of economic development may come in conflict with the objective of counteracting inflation, particularly in the initial phases of economic development. Another conflict is as economic development proceeds, wealth gets concentrated in the hands of a few, and if concentration of economic wealth is not checked over a period of time, then these compound into glaring inequalities in the distribution of income and wealth. Thus, in view of this, it is not easily possible to determine the order of priorities of the various objectives. Priorities will differ from country to country and from time to time, depending upon the economic, political, and social conditions prevailing in the country.
Now, we are going to discuss the role of fiscal policy in economy. The seriousness of the fiscal problem facing the country is now so widely recognized that it is useful to put in some perspective. The attitude of government and economists toward the role of fiscal policy is entirely changed. The old conception of neutrality of public finance was given up, and the government adopted a new budgetary philosophy called functional finance. With the adoption of development planning, public finance has been assigned a positive and dynamic role for the promotion of economic development. The main objective of fiscal policy in a developing economy is to promote highest possible rate of capital formation and overcome the vicious circle of poverty. It needs to accelerate capital formation since private capital is generally reluctant in those countries. The government should fulfill the gap through public investment and public expenditure on building social overhead expenditure.
Another role of fiscal policy in a developing country is to encourage investment into socially desirable channels. It would be possible if inducements to make investment are increased by providing various incentives to private investors such as development rebates, subsidies, and tax exemptions, etc. Fiscal policy also plays a significant role to reduce income and wealth inequalities in the development countries. It can help by imposing taxes on rich people and providing facilities to the weaker section. Fiscal policy also protects the countries from the add effect of inflation. Relative price stability constitutes an important objective of fiscal policy in the developing countries like India.
So, there are some important roles to be played by fiscal policy for ensuring rapid economic development and growth in developing economies, such as to increase the rate of capital formation so that economic growth could be accelerated, to encourage saving and investment, to check sectoral imbalances so that regional disparities can be removed, to check extravagant and superfluous consumption, to reduce income and wealth inequalities. Next, to raise standard of living of the country as a whole and to uplift the poor section of the community.
The role of fiscal policy in developed countries differs from that in underdeveloped countries as mentioned under. In developed countries, economic stability is achieved by regulating private expenditure, but it has no relevance in the underdeveloped countries. The fiscal policy in the advanced countries aims at maintaining economic stability, which is an essential condition of economic progress in developed countries, whereas fiscal policy aims at achieving accelerated economic development, although economic instability accrue in both types of economies, but the nature and extent is different. In developing countries, government play a significant role in generating infrastructure, whereas in the advanced countries, budget intends to establish balance between income and expenditure. In developing countries, taxation, borrowings, and deficit financing are used as a technique of mobilizing resources, whereas in underdeveloped countries, government uses other resources. In underdeveloped countries, government receipts are very low from long-term loans, but in advanced economy, national debt amounts to even 200% more than national income. Fiscal policy and business environment. Monetary and fiscal policy constitute significant components of a country's business environment as given under. Fiscal policy, as with the monetary policy, is capable of collapsing or rejuvenating an economy. It was Keynes who advocated public expenditure to retrieve economies from the Great Depression. Tax system has significant impact on FDI. Lower taxes attract FDI and higher taxes makes MNCs think twice before investing in India. Growth of an economy, competitive edges of a country, resource mobilization and their effective utilization, job creations, care of needy and poor, and other macro environmental factors are impacted by the fiscal policy. Excess spending, which is not backed by equal revenue, compels the government to borrow from the Reserve Bank, which resulting high prices. Inflation hits the poor most, while middle class income people somehow balance their money inflows and outflows, and rich people are not worried about it. In such a situation, it is very difficult for people to save their income. So, when aggregate savings decline, investment too will fall. Tax system is not always helping much in generating revenues. Much of the economy remains out of sight of the tax net. A lot of service sector is informal and cash-based. The real estate market is notorious for black money.
We are going to discuss the limitations of fiscal policy. As we see that there are three important fiscal means, that is taxation, public borrowings, and deficit financing, which may be used in a harmonious combinations so as to produce the best overall effect in realizing the basic macroeconomic goals. Fiscal policy, however, cannot be effective when there are shortcomings in the taxation laws and the large scale of tax evasion are prevailing in the economy. Again, if the government is extravagant in spending on non-developmental items, then deficit financing must strengthen the inflationary problems in the economy. Existence of market imperfections, bottlenecks, insufficiency of raw materials, and lack of entrepreneurial skills obviously reduce the effectiveness of fiscal policy in an economy. Rapid population growth is another problem in densely populated underdeveloped countries, and the fiscal policy alone cannot be very much effective in reaching the goals of rapid economic growth with stability. So, the following are the basic weaknesses of fiscal policy responsible for reducing its effectiveness.
Fiscal policy, actually operates through the multiplier process. The contractionary as well as expansionary mechanism explains in theory are based on restrictive and oversimplifying assumptions. But in reality, the multiplier effect may be weakened on account of various types of leakages. The efficiency of the fiscal policy ultimately depends on strict financial discipline on the part of government and its correct value judgment. But in reality, most of the developing countries lacking such administrations and hence reduces the effectiveness of fiscal policy. As a result of fiscal policy in connection with full employment, wage rate increases. Increase in wage rate results into increase in prices instead of increase in production. Employment multiplier decreases and desired increase in employment doesn't take place. Structural unemployment is also a challenge for the fiscal policy. As an increase in public expenditure on non-developmental heads and deficit financing demand pull inflation has taken place. High rate of indirect taxes has also resulted in cost push inflation. High rate of direct taxes and increase of black money in the country has given rise to parallel economy and increase in inflation. Fiscal policy is inappropriate to deal with the problems that require structural adjustments. This policy cannot adjust the distribution of money flows. It has operational limitation due to the involvement of time lags. It is also difficult to decide the magnitude of fiscal action and the optimum size of government budget. Fiscal policy cannot work effectively without the assistance of adequate monetary policy, as it is both complementary and supplementary to each other. In underdeveloped countries, complicated tax structure, dominance of unorganized money market, existence of barter economy, tax evasion, existence of black money, low taxable capacity are also reduces the impact of.
Now, we must conclude by saying that fiscal policy in a developing economy has to be planned on a long-term basis. A simple and stable tax system must be evolved. Public borrowing must be kept within safe limits. Deficit financing should be the last resort of a finance minister if he is committing to a policy of economic stability, and the most important for obtaining the best effective results, it should be combined with the monetary and non-monetary policies. The main instruments of fiscal policy are public revenue, public expenditures, and public debt. Debt and deficits in a nation are closely integrated. Fiscal deficit reflects the gap between receipts and expenditure and is representative of fiscal health of a nation. Fiscal policy plays a very important role to foster economic development and stability of nation. Thank you.